So last night I was trying to go to bed and I was pretty tired, but my brain decided that it didn't want to turn off and that it wanted to play the what if game. I hesitate to call it a game because it's not fun, but I don't know if your brain has ever done this, but it's basically when you sit there and you like think of a certain scenario and you're like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? Well, what if I don't get into the college of my dreams? What if my best friend decides that she doesn't want to be around with me anymore? What if my parents get divorced? What if there's a storm? What if I get sick? What if somebody that I love gets hurt? What if somebody that I love dies? What if? And as someone who struggles with anxious thoughts and with worry, I find myself falling into the pits of the what if game a lot, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Last night I was probably up till 2 a.m. and all day today I've had a terrible headache because I just was letting myself live in worry and worrying about stuff that may or may not ever happen. And so when I went to make this video today, this is actually like probably the 40th time today that I've tried to do this video. I've been doing this for hours, and I've been struggling so much because I want to talk to you guys about worry, but I felt kind of like a hypocrite saying like, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about things, when literally last night I was up for hours just like worrying for no reason. But just reminds me that we're all just trying to figure this out together, and none of us here who are like speaking or like making these videos for you are perfect by any means. So honestly, I feel like it's almost a blessing in disguise to be able to say, like, I literally was dealing with this yesterday. So yeah, but one of my favorite verses that I always come back to in moments when I struggle with worry and I struggle with anxiety is Matthew 6, verse 34. It basically says, don't worry about tomorrow, because today's troubles are enough for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next month. Just focus on today. And I'm so bad at this. I'm a planner. I don't know about you, but I like to have lists, and I like to know what's happening next week and next month. I'd be perfectly fine with having like a 5-year plan for my life and knowing everything that's going to happen in those 5 years. Don't get me wrong, I like enjoy spontaneous things, but I don't like anything that messes up a plan that I already have, and that's what I get worried about. And I know that that's like a super type A personality, and you might not be like that at all, but I think even if you're not like that, we all have this like tendency in us and this desire for control and this desire to know what's going to happen. So you might not like plan out things in like a planner or do to-do lists, but you might know what college you want to go to, and you are just really, really, really worried that you might not get into that college, or you might not know what you want to do with the rest of your life. You might feel like, gosh, I'm a junior now and I still don't know what I want to do, and I need to figure that out because I need to know where I'm going to go to school and what I'm going to do and what I'm going to major in. And you worry all the time because you just don't feel like you have an answer. Side note with that, it's okay to not know what you want to do with the entire rest of your life by the time you leave high school. Most people won't tell you that, and they'll tell you to have a plan, and I think planning and goals are good. There's nothing wrong with having a goal, but know that ultimately God is in control of your life. And I know I said that was a side note, but it's really actually not that much of a side note. It's really the answer to our worries. God is in control. And so it's okay to have goals and to know what you want and to strive for something, but God's actually saying, come to me with open hands. It's okay for you to want to go to that college, but if you get the letter that says no, I want you to come to me with open hands and say, God, what do you want for me? Because this obviously isn't your plan for me. Psalm 139 says that God knit us together in our mother's womb, and that he knows, or knew, and still knows, every aspect of our lives before we were even born. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow. He knows what's going to happen 5 years from now. And I've learned over the past couple of years of my life that my job is not to know what's going to happen over the next 5 years, but to trust God and to know the one who knows. And that's a lot harder to do. It's easy to look at a calendar and say, okay, this is my plan and this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to move forward. It's hard to look at God and say, you know what, I want to intimately know you, and it's okay if I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's okay if I don't know what my life's going to look like 10 years from now, because I know that I'm going to have you in it, and I know that I can trust you because you are good and you are God. Now, doing that and saying that doesn't mean that you're going to stop worrying. I spend a lot of time with God, and I spend a lot of time saying, okay, God, like, I want to trust you, and I want to know you better, and I want to know you more, and I want to give my life open-handedly to you. But then sometimes I have nights like last night where I sit for hours and I just worry about what ifs. I worry about what God's going to do. I worry that I'm not going to like the plan that God has for my life. But I know that even in the midst of those moments, sometimes not in the midst, sometimes it takes coming out of the afterwards of those moments, I can look to God and I can say, you know what? I don't like that I don't know what's going on. I don't like that I don't have a plan, but I know that you do. And so my thought today for you guys is, what are the areas of your life that you need to come to God open-handedly with and say, you know what? God, I'm just going to worry about today. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, and I'm going to give tomorrow to you. And so I'm not going to worry about what's going to happen. I'm just going to focus on who I am becoming today. I'm going to focus on spending time with you and knowing you more. I'm going to focus on the person that I am instead of focusing on the plans that I'm making for the rest of my life. And I just want to give my life to you.